Hey y'all, this is Mary, the Magnolia Stitcher. This is Flosstube number 4, and today is October 7th, 2022. It has been about 8 days, I think, since my last Flosstube. I broke my tablet to the point that the forward-facing camera wouldn't work, so I had to have a new tablet. I've been dying to use Pattern Keeper. The closest thing on iPad, which is what I had before, doesn't get along with me. So I went with the Samsung this time, and I'm going to give Pattern Keeper a try. And I really like the configuration better, and where the camera sits better. It doesn't look like I'm looking off here when I'm actually looking at the tablet. So let's get to cross stitching. I have had a house full of sick people, and I have not worked on every whip that I have, but I do have one big finish. That's part of why I haven't worked, because I could see on every whip, because I could see I was almost finished, and I did the push to get it finished, because it was one of those, I love it, and I like working on it, but I had been working on it for so long consistently, that I just needed it to be done. But it's, the one I've been telling you for my mother-in-law. And I'm going to show it because I don't think she watches my Flosstube. Not a big deal. I just do them because I like to. It's not because, oh, you have to watch me. I appreciate my subscribers. I appreciate people who are just coming in and watching. But it's not, I don't get upset if even my mom doesn't, so. I also have 2 new starts and my whips that I've worked on. So I'm going to start with show, and then I have some haul. I've been bad, and it's not all here yet. So I'm going to start with showing you the finished one. It's not fully finished. I still need to frame it. And just in case she watches my Flosstube, Angie, turn away. I don't want you to see it. And I'll tell you when it's safe where you can watch. So, this is, I don't know if you would call this full coverage or not, because it's got empty spaces, but it's pretty close. So, that is her Christmas present. It's done, it was a kit. It's Backyard by Maydeer. It was done with everything that was in the kit. And it was a stamped cross stitch. I soaked it for, I think, 2 hours in lukewarm water once I finished. And it washed all the ink off, and then I laid it out to dry on a towel on my dining room table. But I'm really proud of this one. I've been working on it since May, and all summer I worked on it. Most of the summer I worked on it all day, every day. In between housework and stuff. But I'm going to frame this for her. And I just have to get the frame. Like, I'm going to frame it. I'm not going to have it professionally framed. Okay, Angie. It's safe to look now. Okay. So, my first new start is, Supernatural Sampler. Yeah, I love Supernatural. I know I talk a lot about not liking words, but you can't have Supernatural Without Carry On My Wayward Son is the song. And they play it on the intros a lot. One of the great things about Supernatural is all the really great music that you hear on the show. But this is my start. There's not much. This is the angel wings motif. There's a part of the storyline. There's an actual storyline where some of the angels are the bad guys. And it's not angels like we think of angels. The angels are jerks. If that offends you, I'm sorry. I really do not want to offend anybody. But it's not meant to be about any religion or anything. It's just supernatural creatures. They hunt supernatural creatures, and angels happen to be one of them. But this is the angel motif, and I would have more done, but I was stitching this, and I started over here, and I got over here and realized I had counted wrong on the very first row that I stitched, or line, column, or whatever you want to call it. So I had to frog everything and go back over here and basically almost start over. So that took me, I put it down when I realized I had stitched wrong. I was like, it was almost bedtime, and I just said, nope. And I sat in bed and I thought about it, figured out where I had counted wrong, and came back to the next morning, and I was happy to work on it. But in Supernatural, the two brothers that are hunting, if you're not familiar, drive a 67 Impala, I think. Please do not shoot me if I got it wrong and you're a fan of the show. But in the beginning, it has a certain Kansas license plate, and the number is KAZ2Y5. And this is the border for the license plate. So there's that. And that is by Birdie's Crossing. It's on 32 count linen by hand dyed by Rolanda. I am using the called for the motifs, and then the words I'm doing in a kind of reddish silk by hand dyed by Rolanda. I don't have it with me to show you. Next time I'll try to remember to bring it with me. And I am really enjoying this. And then the Stitchy Stitcher is doing a stitch along. I do not have a cover photo to show you on this one, but it's an advent calendar. She's got a Facebook group where it's free, and she's got a Facebook group where she's releasing the patterns. I will try to link that group below. I did figure out how to link on my tablet, but this is my little start. This is actually like a day and a half's worth of work. So this is on 40 count linen by hand dyed by Rolanda. It doesn't have a name, and most of hers don't. So I'm using the called for green, but I'm just using 321 red because it was what I had, and I'm using the light gold DMC Light Effects. I had gotten that. It was the called for lavender and lace I'm doing, and I was reading in one of my Facebook groups that it's hard to stitch with. So I wanted to try it on something besides my lavender and lace Celtic Christmas. And, yeah, it is hard to stitch with. Part of it may be that this is 40 count. And this is the first time I've ever stitched on 40 count. But it's still hard to stitch with. It's hard to work with it. Like, the braiding comes apart. And when you pull with the needle, if you pull that little kink into it, like you do a lot with a lot of them, that's over where the needle pulls on it, it kind of frays there. And I've used a lot more than I would have if I were using a traditional floss. I'm never done with Krynic, so I can't say how it compares to Krynic. So, let's see. That is my 2 new starts. And then I worked on Buddy by Good Morning Maui. And I really am enjoying this. As I go, I am fully finishing each character before I move on to the next one. So any back stitch or anything like that has to be done, I'm going ahead and doing it. Because I don't want to have to come back later and mess with that. The way this is drawn out, it's really easy to do that. But, I will show you a picture of where I was last time. And then this is where I am now. I have fully finished, I have completely finished the first page, including the little, I guess they're supposed to be snowflakes. And I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see it. There you can. You can barely see it, but I've done the back stitching on the narwhal's horn. There wasn't much of that. There's not a ton of back stitching in this one, but I'm really loving doing this one. I told you last time of the story about my husband and the narwhal on Christmas. So I completed the narwhal, and my husband got home from work, and I was like, "Look, I finished your favorite part." I know I'm such a goofball. But this is on. Where is it? This is on 32 count Murano by Zweigart in Spa. I got it from Hobby Lobby. And I'm using all the called for floss. And then there's Believe in Santa. And I love this one. And I'm starting to actually see some definition in it. And I'll put where I was last time. And moving the floss out of the way. This is the progress I've made. I've kind of filled in all over on this one. No, dimensions are confetti heavy. So I get a one color floss and I go until either I've used all that floss or there's not any more spots to use that floss. So far, I've just gone until I use all that floss. But you're starting to really be able to see Santa. And I really, really love this one. So I look at dimensions or anything confetti heavy and I go, oh, all that confetti. And I think about it, and I usually wind up doing it if it's something I really love. And for the first little while, I'm like, confetti. And then I get to this point where you can start to see the picture. And I realize how much I love this because my favorite part of cross-stitching is watching the picture develop. It's just that that's what gives, I mean, I like the process, but what really gives me joy is watching the picture develop. So, and then I worked on Wild Horse by Dimensions. Oh, and Santa is all the call for it was a kit. So that's this one. I'm doing this one for my daughter. This is also Dimensions, and it's all the called for. And I'll put a picture of where I was last time here. And this is where I am now. So this is the halfway mark. I am one of those, on something like this, I find the middle of the pattern and start there. So this line is the halfway mark. But I've started filling in on that first page where I copied it, below that, and I've filled in some here. I've got all of the white on the nose filled in. I'm starting to do the white on the mane and the bangs or whatever they're called on a horse. And I am really loving watching this one develop. So that's all for my whips. I'm really, really enjoying doing them. I hope you're enjoying watching them develop. But, that's that. And I keep a journal with my list of my whips. And anytime I start a new one, I write it down. And I write the month and the year that I started. And I either write, all called for or whatever I switched up. And when I finish one, I highlight it. Witchy Stitcher 42 has a journal that was, I think she said, was made for this sort of thing, like the keeping thing of your whips, like a record of your whips, and when you finish it, I think she puts stickers. Anyway, so my haul. So you remember I showed you this pattern? I got this for my 11-year-old daughter. I'm going to do it. I haven't started it yet. But I was going to do like a green fabric because the Lucky Chance Stitcher talked about, she always has the most beautiful pieces and the fabric goes with them so well. If you haven't checked her out, you really should. And I'll link her and Witchy Stitcher 42 below. And she talked about finding the I forget how she put it, but like you have a dominant color and then you have another color that's kind of less dominant. She talked about doing that and finding a fabric that matched that. And I really like that. And I like the way her pieces look when she finishes. So I was going to try that. So I was going to look for a green fabric for this. But my daughter loves purple and she wanted a purple. So I compromised. Hand Dyed by Rolanda had the most beautiful fabric. See, it's purple and pink and green, and I think it will just be fantastic with that little cat. And it is 32 count Jobelin, and it's another one that doesn't have a name. But I really, really love this fabric. I love Hand Dyed by Rolanda so much. I love her stuff. I mean, like, love her stuff. And she's in Canada, and I'm in Mississippi. And unless something happens with the postal service, I get it in about a week or less. She gets it out within a day or two, depending on when you order. So, like, say you order on Saturday, obviously she probably can't send it out till Monday. But I've had her get stuff packaged and ready to go in under 24 hours. So she's really, really quick, and she's so talented. And she does flosses, and she has, which is where I got the floss that I'm going to do the words on my Supernatural one. She has patterns and all that, and I will, of course, link her below. I think I have linked her in everyone I have remembered to link. So that's that. And then I have found Soda Stitch. I'm trying to get this set in more of an order. So, Rogue Mama Stitcher has, there we go, has Soda Stitch. Like, when she does her videos, she has a display and stuff on the wall behind her, and some of it is Soda Stitch. And I really, really love the way it looks. And she is another one you should check out. She is super talented. She sings very nice, and she always looks so gorgeous. But I just, something about her videos, I just love to watch her. She did the cutest Rainbow Bright. She's very into pop culture, and she did the cutest Rainbow Bright. And she's fixing to start an X-Men one. And she says her favorite is Rogue. And Rogue is my favorite. And she's doing an Emily Bronte sampler. And Emily Bronte wrote Wuthering Heights. And both of us love Wuthering Heights. And she and I seem to be kind of similar. But I just love watching her Flosstube. Every time she posts a new video, I'm like, oh, my Mama Stitcher posted a video. I have to go watch. She posts fairly consistently. But I had to go get a Soda Stitch. I'm just going to start with one, because it may be something that drives me nuts to stitch. I seriously doubt it. But me and my Santas, I got this. And it's, what's it called? Sorry, guys. It's called Santa's Village. And I got this off the Soda Stitch Etsy page, which I will link below. That is, like, the cutest thing ever. I just love it. I haven't kitted it up yet because it looks like it's got a lot of colors in it. And, I'm trying not to spend... I'm really trying not to spend anything else until after Christmas. But if I do, it'll be just to kit up one that I want to do that I've got the fabric coming in for now. So then, oh, I did get another Soda Stitch. I got this one from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. This is the one I keep talking about, or I talked about last time, that it was like stuck in Ohio somewhere. I got my second package from her before I got this one. And this was shipped out a couple of days before. It literally just came in yesterday. It was stuck in Cincinnati from the 27th until the 5th. It did not leave Cincinnati until October 5th. But this is Christmas Village. And I think this is just the cutest thing. I really loved it. And I think Rolanda had only 1 or 2 left. And at the time, I didn't know where else to find Soda Stitch. So I snapped it up. And she shipped it out. It was one that was within 24 hours. She had it ready to go. It just got stuck in Cincinnati because the Postal Service is the Postal Service. They're not perfect. So then, I really like 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I buy a lot from them. I think I've got a couple of fabrics coming, or I always look at fabric from them or whatever. Sometimes they don't have the exact color I'm looking for, but whatever. But they have a big selection of patterns, and I get them in like 3 days. They're in Texas. They package and ship fast, and then it gets here quick. But I love Prairie Schooler, the Santas especially. And I got this. This is the 2022 Santa. And this is, it doesn't have a whole lot of colors, but it's really fun because it's just this card with the picture on the front and the pattern on the back. Of course, I'll copy it like I always do, or if I can get it to load in the Pattern Keeper, I may do that. But I haven't quite figured out Pattern Keeper yet, so I'll probably just copy it and do it as a hard copy. But isn't that cute with the penguins and the... I think that's bells. And the baby penguin. We love animals in my house. My son can literally tell you anything you want to know about animals. Unless it's something really obscure. But then, from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, I got another Santa. And this is another primitive another primitive type. It's Twin Peak Primitives. And there's their website. This came from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, though. And, this is Kris Kringle in the Kringle series. I love unconventional Santas. Like, I love normal Santas, the Santa everybody thinks about, but I also love unconventional Santas. So, he's a little unconventional. He's kind of patriotic. I love the red, white, blue. And then, even though I'm not a huge sampler fan, just because of the words, I have told you that I'm a huge fan of all things Celtic. So on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, I found Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth's Needlework Designs. And there is her website. But this came from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. And I really, really love this. I love primitive looking stuff. It falls right within the things I'm interested in because a lot of it looks kind of medieval. But I may try to change this to 2020 whatever when I stitch it. But I really, really love this. And then I went on Stash Unload. Yes, I have a problem. So there was a couple of people that had a lot of Santa stuff posted on Stash Unload. And of course, it was at decent prices, so I snapped it up. And I got Santa's Great Book. This is by Marilyn Gendre. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. But it's just the leaflet. And look, I just absolutely love that. I think it is it's pretty close to full coverage. But that's okay. It's not huge. And then I have an ear infection, guys. I'm sorry. Got Christmas. It's got a sticker over it. Let's see. I don't know, guys. It's a book, but I can't. Christmas homespun, maybe? I don't know. I can't read through that sticker. It's Words of Wisdom by Alma Designs. And it's got... This is why I got it. This right here. I love that Santa, but it's got that Santa. And then it's got this. Well, you can't really tell it, but it's a Santa and it's got letters around it. It's got this. I'm not a big stocking person. I want to do stockings for my kids, but I don't feel like I'm there yet. Like I don't know how to finish them. But I like that Santa, so I could see stitching just him. And then I got Holly Santa by Boyd Designs. And he's a little bit different from what we think about when we think about Santa. He's got the long, whatever this would be called, coat or whatever. And then there were a couple people on there who had Hummel patterns. That's Hummel. Hummel. So Hummel has or had a line of figurines. I don't know if the patterns of the figurines came first. But my mother's mother passed away when my mother was 17. Just from, complications from diabetes. She had diabetes, and it was just her time. Sadly, I never got to meet her. But my mom had Hummels that had been my grandmother's, and I love them. And she had several when I was a child, but I think she only has one now. I think my sister and I probably broke them. But I found Hummel patterns. I didn't know it was a thing. But I got this one, Little Friends. It's a booklet. This is Chick Girl. And this is Playmates. And after I found this, and they're by Hummel. I don't know if they're still in print. Probably not. But I don't know. But then I went on Stash Unload and put a thing ISO Humble patterns. And I've got several more coming. So, guys, I get ear infections all the time. But that's all I have for today. This is actually a pretty short one for me. But I really enjoy coming and talking to you. I enjoy showing you what I'm doing, sharing with somebody who I know will appreciate it. Because I show if I'm doing it for my mother-in-law who would appreciate it, obviously I can't show her. But I show my husband, he's a typical Southern man. It's not his thing. He's just like, oh, okay. And we're off talking about something else. I mean, he's not rude about it, but it's just not his thing. He's the kind of man that when you go get your hair done, if you don't tell him, look at my hair, I got it done, he usually doesn't notice unless it's a big difference. So, he looks and he pretends like it interests him, but it doesn't really. I know it doesn't. But he's been super supportive, so as long, it doesn't matter if it doesn't interest him. But, it's nice to be able to show it to people who I know appreciate it. So, if you like the, my videos, please subscribe. Like the videos, comment. I would love to interact with some of you. I can't promise I'll answer every comment, but I will certainly try. And I think that's it. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you next week, hopefully. Bye.